Morning, everybody. David at the Freedom Shack. Had a customer of mine who bought some gear from us who's new to shooting. Not new to shooting, new to precision shooting, let's say. And I get these questions a lot, like, what do I do with the bag? How do I use the bag? Where do you place the bag? What's the purpose of the bag? So this video is going to cover that. But something I want to point out. The placement of your bipod is very, very important to the accuracy of your rifle. I'm going to show why on this piece of paper that I've drawn here. So down here we have this picture of the rifle with the bipod almost as far to the front as you could get. And I guess in the case of this actual rifle, that's as far as you're going to get it. If you have an ARCA rail that, let's say, sticks out way into this area somewhere, you could move this bipod much closer to the muzzle. Highly recommend it. Most of us are shooting 15, 17-inch ARCA rails on the bottom, and you can get this bipod placed out to the front. So why is that important? So what this picture here that I made represents is this area here is the stock. So this piece is here. Let's pretend that there's a bag back here that the stock is sitting on. This center represents about this area where you could, I don't know why you would, have a bipod, or for a lot of us, that's where our bag placement goes because our rifle's balanced there. Here in the front, this dot represents the placement of this bipod. We have 8 squares here. These are 1/4 inch, and 8 squares here. So let's say this is a 16-inch gun. From the muzzle, this dot, to the point of impact out here is 21 squares, to give you some type of idea on the ratio of this drawing. If your bag was placed right here on this dot and followed this line, forget about gravity, forget about ballistics, and you drew a straight line, your point of impact would be here. That is this line. Now, let's put 1/16 of an inch of wiggle in the back. So the rifle, the buttstock would drop, or you'd be wobbling 1/16 of an inch. Very, very minute. That is a 16th right there on this paper. If your pivot point for your bipod is out here, and you follow this dotted line, that is the trajectory. Again, forget about ballistics, forget about that stuff. We're just making a line to show the wobble. You gained 1/8 of an inch, 21 squares from the end of that muzzle. A 16th here changed 1/8 of an inch here if the pivot point where your bipod was at the end of the muzzle. If you moved the pivot point with the bipod or bag to the center of the rifle, okay, drop the same 1/16 of an inch, look what happens over here to the impact. You are now 5/16 of an inch higher than you were if you shot straight. And you've gained from 1/8 of an inch of impact change all the way up to 5/16 of an inch. This is 5/16 from that same 1/8 inch. So the point of this is you want to get your bipod or your bag, if you're using it for a front rest, as close to the muzzle as you can get, because the little bit of wiggle that you have back here translates huge over here if your pivot point is in the center. It's crazy how it works. It's also much, much less stable here. You can do this yourself. You could move your bipod back and try to wiggle the gun. It's very unstable here. So this is something, I've been to numerous long-range classes, and I watch videos and read constantly. This is something I've never seen anybody bring up before, which is kind of weird to me. Get your bipod or your front support bag as close to the front of the rifle as you can get. If you can get an extended ARCA rail like we make to get it out here, you're even better. And it's all because of these angles. It's a huge difference. A 1/16 of an inch drop balancing in the center equates to 5/16 out here just on this short piece of paper. Think about what that is 100 yards, 50 yards, compared to only gaining 1/8 of an inch with the pivot point all the way at the muzzle. So now let's get into the use of the bags. Okay, I'm out here on the range. I've got an IPSC target back there with some lines that I drew on it. And I just want to show you the difference, that if the bipod is back further on the rifle than you can get it, you want it all the way to the muzzle. I'm going to move the back of this just I don't know, a 1/16 of an eighth or an eighth of an inch. I'm just going to wobble it. I don't have a way to measure it. Just watch the tip of the muzzle versus the lines in the background with just a little bit of movement in the back. It's a lot of movement. Now let me move it all the way to the muzzle. This is one of the advantages of having a long Arca rail like this so that you can get this bipod out there. I'm going to attempt to just move it the same amount, and you're going to see that it hardly wiggles. I'm probably even moving it more now because I'm trying to exaggerate it. So the point is, if you're running a bipod, get it out as far to the front of the rifle as you can, because your little bit of movement that you're going to have back here is going to affect it much, much less, the trajectory much less, by putting the bipod in the front. Okay, now I got this bag back here. Something you want to do when you're shooting. 22s, they're good practice for center fire, obviously. I love shooting 22s, it's my favorite. But you don't have a large amount of recoil pushing back. When this rifle recoils, it comes back and it wants to push down. So you want to make sure that you have this bag, whatever you're using, pulled up and as tight as you can get it, so that when you push down on this, I think you can see the front. The muzzle is not moving. I can't tell in my video. I don't think the muzzle's moving at all because I have this bag pulled up hard as a rock. So once you get on target, you're going to want to make this bag as firm as you can. Practice it with your 22s, even though it doesn't have as big an effect as it would with a center fire, but get in the practice. So if you're shooting both, you can practice the right way. Get this bag hard so that this rifle does not want to drop in the back. Again, with a 22, it's not coming down because there's not a lot of recoil. You start going up to bigger caliber, 6.5, 300 PRC, whatever. You want to get this bag as hard in the rear as you can to keep the buttstock from dropping. So now let's get into these bags and how to use them. This is our sandcastle. We came out this groove in the top of a bag before anybody else did. There's a few people that have tried to copy it now. So you can see this groove, and the reason it's there is if you have a flat surface, I'm going to use this bag because this has the same groove, but it's underfilled. Very easy to move my hand, right? Common sense. It's flat, you can wiggle your hand. Take this same bag that has a groove in it, where you have the weight for the rifle, you cannot move your hand, right? So this, we designed to get rid of what I call windage wobble. So once you're up on this bag, on a prop, this helps to keep this rifle from wanting to move left and right. It just takes one more variable out of you getting a good shot. The sandcastle, the F1, both have that. We have bags that are designed that have an Arca plate that fit in this. It's actually curved to lock into this bag. So the sandcastle is our #1 selling bag. It's got a regular V in the bottom. This can be used in the back or the front. I want to show something here in this video. I see a lot of people, I gotta pull my barricade stop off. A lot of people throw these other bags from other companies up on a prop. We make one with a flat top too, it's called our Fatty. And then they move the rifle and the rifle falls off the bag. Why does it fall off? Because it has a flat top. Watch this. I'm not gonna take any weight off this rifle. This rifle's just laying in the sandcastle groove. That shows you how well this locks into this. The F1 has the same thing on it, the same groove. Okay, so the question I get all the time is, do these make good rear bags? Can they make good front bags? I don't like a bag in the front, unless I'm shooting off a prop or something, obviously, or you're hunting and you have a rock or a tree, whatever. I'll take a bipod in the front every time. This does make a good rear bag, and I like to use it where the buttstock is in the groove. This also helps, again, with the rifle trying to wiggle from your breath or you're moving around. You can use it in any direction. You need some more height. You get the idea. The best way to use this, I feel, is with the groove of the rifle or the buttstock of the rifle in the actual groove on the bag. And then you simply squeeze the bag to get your elevation changes. The best bag we sell, and as far as I'm concerned, the best bag you can buy is the F1. This has the same sandcastle groove in the top. It has two big feet on it that hang down. This will lock onto anything. So let me give you another example with these bags. This has a typical V in it like you see on everybody's bags. My thumb is up in the back. I'm not grabbing this. I'm just going to tip my hand. So you put this up on a prop, you come slamming in with your rifle. Obviously it's going to, you know, my finger's small. If this is on a 2x4, it's a little more stable. But anyway, if I start to tip this, it's going to happen with anything, right? It does not happen with this. This F1 was designed to grab everything. There's 90 degrees. There's 90 degrees. There's my thumb. I am not holding this. This is very difficult to get to fall off of props. This is also the most universal bag, I believe, that you can get. These feet make the best bench rest support I've used. So if I'm going to use this in the back, typically I flip it upside down, and then I put the buttstock in between these feet. Because my right arm wraps around, it pulls this side up on its own. This side I use my hand on. I'll demonstrate it in a minute. And I can lift this up and down in between here, and with just a little bit of pressure, there's 2 fingers. The rifle will stay there. So it gives me a ton of adjustment this way. And when these are squeezed like this, it's like locking the back of this rifle into a vise. It doesn't want to wiggle left or right either. So how it would look is if I used it, I'd put it in like this. My hand comes around. Let me find a target out there. One out there about 80 yards. I'm not going to shoot it. I don't even have ammo in this thing. Okay, get locked onto the target, and then I just squeeze here with my hand. So the other side of the foot is up. I'm squeezing these 2 together, and it's absolutely infinitely adjustable on the elevation. And if you could see through the scope right now, which I should turn the scope camera on, you can see just absolutely how steady it is. Actually, I'll put that in at the end of this video. So I just wanted to go over quickly how to use these. This bipod thing just kind of popped in my mind this morning, and I think it's super beneficial to know that. Get that bipod out absolutely as far to the front of the rifle as you can. F1, best bag in the world, multi-use. Sandcastle, our #1 seller, because people are used to bags that look like this, I think. But this groove in the top also really knocks the windage wobble down. thefreedomcheck.com. I'm not just selling bags, I'm out here using them. Have a great day. I really hope this helps somebody out. I'm going to put a short video up, if I can, of a KYL rack that's at 100 with this F1 on the back, just to show just how stable this is. If it's at the end of the video, you get to see it. If it doesn't come out good, this is the end of the video. Have a wonderful day. All right, everybody. I hope this comes out well. So I've got a KYL rack out there. I've got the F1 in the back of this rifle, like I just showed how it should be used. Bipods all the way in the front. The left side, where the hell did my rack go? The left side of that is a 1/4 inch. This scope is in mils, so that dot in the center is 1/10 of a mil. I am on the rifle. I'm not just holding this up there looking through the camera and cheating, and I'm talking. So I'm mounted on this, ready to take a shot right now. I can't close the bolt. Here, I'm going to close the bolt so there's no doubt that I'm behind this thing. Now, I'm going to keep talking through this. If that's not stable, as I'm talking, I am mounted on this gun. This is in my shoulder, my finger's on the trigger, and I'm bullshitting, right? That's stable. Move it around a little bit. Come up here on the white part of the stem so you can see better, and let me get quiet for just a second. You can't get any more stable than that. It's like being in a vise. This is the best bag money can buy. Front, rear, obstacles. It's a little bulky. If you need something thin for a ladder stage or even in the center of the pyramid, that's not the bag for that. Anywhere else that you're not trying to fit a big tall scope and stuff into a small hole, this is the best bag you can get. Highly recommend it. This has our lightweight fill in it. I was off the gun there when I was talking, so I don't know where I was pointed, but I just got back on it. You know, if you went through this, quarter-inch stem, quarter-inch stem, quarter-inch stem, quarter-inch stem. As you can see, crazy stable. And I hope this shows up well in the video. I hope you guys somewhat appreciate what I try to do out here. I love to teach. There's people that can teach and there's people that can do. I feel like I'm more of a teacher. Definitely not one of the greatest shooters in the world. From this bench I can do well. Standing up I'm just wobbly. So anyway, get out there, put some bullets downrange. That's the best way to get better. And again, enjoy your day. Thanks for watching.